now we're going to go ahead and move on, as we do have some, how do I say this? Sorry for this, I apologize for this weird, awkward transition to this segment. But we do have some news in terms of college football, but honestly, not a whole lot, because we just happen to not have a lot. Just about two things, as we have the NCAA Football 25 news, nothing new in terms of gameplay and such. But one thing I do have to mention is that apparently Arch Manning is opting out of the college football game, because he says he'll only opt in once he becomes a starting quarterback of the Texas Longhorns, which does make sense, but it's like, okay, bye. But speaking of that, and EA Sports College Football 25 has had over 10,000 athletes opt in to the game ahead of its release date, as EA Sports announced on Monday that more than 10,000 athletes have opted in to being featured in the upcoming game. Insider Matt Brown noted the number represents approximately 90% of the eligible athletes who could sign on, underscoring how quickly EA Sports has mobilized efforts when it comes to including current players. And in a statement, EA Sports spokesperson Daryl Holt said in a statement from ESPN's Adam Rittenberg said, "The response to the athlete opt-in opportunity for EA Sports College Football 25 has been phenomenal." He also stated that in the little over 1 week, over 10,000 athletes across the FBS have opted into the offer, with more saying yes every hour. "We're excited to welcome more athletes in the weeks ahead and debut this first class of athletes in the game when it launches this summer." Rittenberg noted players were given the ability to opt into their name, image, and likeness being used in the game in exchange for $600 and a copy of the game once it is released. EA Sports Vice President of Business Development, Sean O'Brien, said the company decided on the 600 figure by studying agreements in place for other sports games, including the Madden NFL series. Some of the most notable returning stars of college football have already announced their decisions to be in the game, such as Jalen Milroe of Alabama, Will Johnson, Ohio State's Mika Ibuka, and many others. As there has been plenty of anticipation for the latest edition of this game since the last version was NCAA Football 14. Previous editions of the game often featured correct uniform numbers and approximately play ratings for college football players, but could not use their name, image, or likeness because NIL rules were not in place at the time. The creation of such rules allows players to be a part of the process and get paid for their participation. And it was released not too long ago that the game is expected to be released in the summer, and a full reveal for the game from EA is coming in May. Early National Signing Day is getting some changes per college football, as college football's early National Signing Day is to be held before the transfer portal opens, which does make sense because when that kind of thing starts happening, when people transfer and coaches and it's everything that happens when everything happens at once in college football, it causes like a chain reaction, just like Nick Saban's retirement. As the next wave of college football starts to reportedly be deciding which school they will attend before current players decide where they are moving in the future. As according to ESPN's Pete Thamel, the Collegiate Commissioners Association, the CCA, voted Wednesday to move up winter's early signing period to early December, which means that it will happen before the transfer portal opens. Wednesday wasn't a day of complete action, though. As Thamel noted, the WCA chose to push back a vote on the potential of having 3 signing days until they meet in person in June. Such a format would have signing days in June, November, and February. As for the actual decision to move up the winter signing period, Cody Nagel, Nagel, of 24/7 Sports provided more details on the timing. As the previous period started on the third Wednesday of December, which was in the middle of bowl season and shortly before the college football playoff, but was also during the winter transfer portal. However, the new period will start on December 4th, 2024 and run through December 6th, 2024. That is 3 days before the transfer portal opens on December 9th, and the window that was in place put even more pressure on coaches and programs attempting to navigate one of the busiest times on the calendar. There were teams this past season that were dealing with bowl or CFP preparations with their own players entering the transfer portal, seeking out transfers of their own, and signing their recruiting classes all at the same time. It made roster management in the current era of college football even more difficult than it was already was, and surely prompted this change. Moving the signing period means coaches can put the finishing touches on their recruiting classes and then focus on the transfer portal. There's also more time in between the early signing period and the start of bowl season and the expanded 12-team college football playoff. And how will this affect college football in the upcoming season? We'll just have to wait and find out.